Good morning, everyone. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com with your morning market outlook for Thursday, February 26, 2026. In the pre-market this morning, things are fairly quiet out there. Stock index futures have been positive and negative over the last couple of hours. We've got gold and crude oil down slightly, while Bitcoin continues to move higher on Thursday morning. Now, the market is still digesting NVIDIA's earnings announcement, and yesterday the stock popped above resistance, and so we're still on a buy signal here. We traded up over $200 after hours last night and then pulled back. We're up $1.50 last time I checked in the pre-market, so we'll have to see if we can get up and over 200. Now, what worked yesterday? Well, the S&P 500 is back on a buy signal as of Wednesday's close. We're coming up to resistance here, and there's a wall of resistance, and the previous high was 697.84. And so you can tell that sellers are up there at the $700 level. And that, of course, is psychological resistance. And then if we can break through that, then 703.13. So we are coming up to a wall of resistance. And as you can tell from the futures in the pre-market, we're not in a hurry to break through that this morning. Now, the NASDAQ 100 is also back on a buy signal as of Wednesday's close. It ran up to resistance and stopped. We stopped here earlier in February, and we'll have to see if we can take that out on Thursday. 625 would be our next target to the upside. Now, gold stocks moved up yesterday, and the GDX moved up to resistance at 112.50, which was resistance back in January. And you can see that 125 would be our next target to the upside. In the pre-market this morning, gold is down slightly, so not expecting to take a run at the 125 level on Thursday. Now, the VIX ended the day on a sell signal for the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and we traded down to the 200-day moving average and stopped, and we'll have to see if we can continue to move lower. If we can continue to move higher, then both the S&P and the NASDAQ should be able to continue to move up. And you can see we're right in the middle of the flypaper channel. So, we really need to be below the flypaper channel for the market to want to break out above those recent highs that we saw that we just looked at in the S&P 500. Now, there's the VIX for the Russell 2000 as well, closing just below the lower channel line there. So the VIX for the Russell is also back on a sell signal as of Wednesday's close. Now, moving on to Bitcoin. And before we get to Bitcoin, I just want to make a couple of comments. We have over 2,200 North American stocks and ETFs in our database. Each day I cover 20 to 40 of them, and I try to focus on what's going to help the most people. I'm not a stock picker, so I'm not in there looking for, the next big opportunity. I'm here to cover what's going on in the market, not looking for a needle in the haystack. And so when we talk about, what's on a buy and a sell signal, we produce nightly reports that list all of those particular stocks and ETFs that have changed direction on any particular day. Here, when we look through the report, we can see that there's a Bit Digital, there's the Bitcoin Investment Trust, there's Hive Blockchain. Those three generated buy signals yesterday. So it's pretty easy to go through the reports and take a look for your favorite stocks or ETFs. Now, yesterday, Bitcoin generated a buy signal. We still have some work to do, but it is back on a buy signal on a short-term basis. More conservative investors are not going to come in on Thursday morning. It's going to take some more work before they get involved. And of course, long-term investors really need to see, a lot more work before they jump back into Bitcoin. Remember, people are pretty angry and disappointed in Bitcoin's performance, so they're not as excited to get back in as they were before. Now, looking at the flypaper channel, you can see it's moved down to the 90,000 level, and that is certainly a wall of resistance on its own. But then we've got the previous trading action from back in November, December, and January, in which Bitcoin traded sideways. And if we look at the price target chart, you can see 62.50 acted as resistance. 75 is a next big round number to break through. We're certainly not trading near that in the pre-market this morning. And then, of course, above that, you've got 87,500. and that takes us up to that wall of resistance. And so 87,500 is a legitimate target to the upside. You can see the pros are not near taking control on Thursday. If they don't take control by next Tuesday, then we know this trade is probably coming to an end. It will just fizzle out if it doesn't quickly reverse. Now, a stock I've been watching is Bitfarms. It's back on a buy signal. You can see the blue line there. The pros are just about to take control, so that's pretty optimistic for this particular stock. And then when we look at MicroStrategy, if you've been keeping track of the news, the CEO of this company announced that they've bought more Bitcoin down at this level, so that's probably one of the reasons that Bitcoin moved up. But it looks like the pros want to take control of Bitfarms over the next MicroStrategy, excuse me, over the next couple of days. And so there's that stock. It's back on a buy signal as of Wednesday's close. Ethereum is also back on a buy signal. So any bullish related Bitcoin ETF, they're all back on buy signals. Of course, the bear ETFs, that's a different story. When we look at the panic zone chart, you can see there was a pressure zone. We're at the bottom of the panic zones. Things started to turn blue. That was the low risk buying opportunity. Now up here, we're generating a sell signal. You'll see that in a minute after the early warning signal up here. If Bitcoin was to turn around and move down, that would take this bear ETF higher. That would be a high risk trade. It would be a new trade, but it certainly, when you're comparing apples to apples, this is low risk down here. A new trade up here would be a high risk trade. So the other day, on Tuesday, we had a bearish reversal day for this particular ETF, and then we saw fall through to the downside on Wednesday. And you can see we're back on a sell signal as of Wednesday's close. So it's been a nice trade. It certainly was very profitable. You had lots of opportunities to lock in profits along the way, whether you were trading in New York or Toronto. So that was a good trade. Now, Bitfarms back on a buy signal. You see most of the Bitcoin related stocks are back on buy signals. Coinbase generated a buy signal, excuse me, the other day. It traded below the lower channel line, but did not close below it. And here we are moving up. So if you took the Coinbase trade, which I wasn't excited about, congratulations. There's Galaxy, there's Hive, just moving along here. There's Mara, back on a buy signal as of Wednesday's close. Next up, let's take a look at the most actively traded stocks from Wednesday's trading action. NVIDIA was number one. We talked about that already. There's Intel sitting right on the edge of a new daily buy signal. New buy signal for Netflix as of Wednesday's close. No joy for SoFi, still looking for a close above 1994. No change for Ondas, still on a buy signal here. No change for NU, still on a sell signal. There's Ford trading right back up to resistance at 1445. We closed at 1443 yesterday. Next target to the upside is 1484. Novo Nordisk generated a sell signal back in late January, continued to move lower on Wednesday. There's Tesla trading up to the upper channel line, looking for a close above $417.99. We closed at $417.40, so right on the edge of a new buy signal, and that's could be coming off a recent higher low. So that could be bullish if we can get a new buy signal there. And then UpPath, no change in that stock. It continued to close lower and trading and closing below the $10 level on Wednesday. Let's finish off this morning's presentation, taking a look at the TSX most actives. And we don't have any of the major banks in this list, but we do have the major banks releasing earnings this morning, and they could certainly help change the direction of the Canadian market on Thursday. Canadian Natural Resources just down 12 cents yesterday, no major change there. New low for Manulife on Wednesday. Then we've got Barrick pulling back a penny on Wednesday. We're looking at Cenovus, so we traded down into the channel, so a close on Thursday below $29.58 would give us a sell signal. There's Suncor down just 49 cents yesterday, looking for a close on Thursday below $75.09 to give us a sell signal. Capstone Mining moving up into the channel, a close above $14.88 would give us a buy signal on Thursday. For TELUS, we're looking for a close above $18.84. Then looking at Enbridge, no change in trend there. The stock was down just 11 cents on Wednesday. There's a new high for B2 Gold for this move. No major change for TC Energy, down 39 cents yesterday. Then we're looking at Ivanhoe, still on a sell signal here, no change in trend. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. Looks like the market wants to do a little buying on Thursday morning. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Friday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.